Welcome to the Mystical Truths Podcast. This is Rebecca, and I'm really glad you're here. Let's unlock your world. Let's talk about how we are guided through life. You know, you're a very mature, intelligent, capable soul who decided to come into yet another physical life experience. You were eager to come into this life experience and try it through a different angle this time. You know, we're sort of similar to actors who, instead of picking the same part or a similar part over and over again, we want to mix it up. We want to challenge ourselves. We want to look at this experience through different angles. So we pick different scenarios and we set up the parameters to be different according to what we're after, how we want to expand, how we want to help all of creation expand. And so there's no mistake about why anybody's here or how they're here. We're talking about eternity. So this is a little tiny span of time that you're here in the physical. So it's not a big deal to you as a soul if you are coming into a more challenging life or a more sensitive environment. You're looking for variety. And you definitely get it here because this is a world of contrast and variety. That's all on purpose. We're helping eternity be eternal by thinking thoughts that are new. So here you are in this physical life experience. You didn't come alone. I liken it to if we take a child and put a child on a bus to New York City. Would we let that child go alone and say, do the best you can, we'll see you when you get back? Or would we make sure that there was somebody to guide that child every step of the way? Of course we would. So your life here is very similar in that you're always guided. Now, that doesn't mean that you're being told what to do and what not to do. That's never the case. Those in non-physical love you way too much to take away that free will, right? You have the free will to choose. But because they love you so much and they know you better than you remember yourself right now, they're available to guide you, to nudge you, to suggest, because they know what you're after in any given moment or in any topic. So there's a very often subtle guidance that is always streaming. It never stops. You don't have to ask and then wait for guidance. It's just always happening, and it's happening right along with everybody's life experience, whether they realize it is or not. But because you have free will, you can tune it out. You can doubt it. You can pretend like you didn't see that or hear that or get that really neat idea, that inspired idea. It's your choice, but it's good to know it's there, right? So you have all of those that are non-physically focused right now. You have your inner being, which means the rest of you as a soul, paying attention and guiding. We only focus a fraction of our attention into any given lifetime. So the bigger percentage of us is non-physically focused and paying attention and desiring as well. You also have a body that was designed to give you feedback as to what those on the other side are thinking. That happens through your emotions. Your emotions are not just crazy things you have. Your emotions are a guidance system. So when you're feeling good to really great, that's all of creation, all of non-physical, those paying attention, saying to you or helping you feel the feedback of, that's going to work out for you. That's a good idea. This is how we're seeing it. That's a yes. If you're feeling to really, really off, that's that same feedback saying, okay, now you're seeing this in a way that we're not seeing it. Or this is not great timing. Or this is just plain not a good idea for you. You can still do it anyway. You can still go forward. But isn't it easier to pay attention to how you feel and get that feedback? Everybody knows how to do that. Everybody can tell how they feel when they're thinking about a particular subject or person or action. So that's an easy one, and it's there all the time. So if you're looking at something and not feeling good, you've got to switch it up somehow. You've got to find another way to look at that. And I'm sure we'll talk more about this as we go through episodes. So you have that emotional guidance system. You also have your physical body that gives you information about how you're doing or what you're doing here. Your physical body is always lined up, every single cell lined up with well-being all of the time, unless you're thinking thoughts and grinding away in things that are getting in the way of that. And that's pretty easy to do. So when your physical body gives you aches and pains or diseases or whatever, it's just trying to speak louder than your emotions were, or at least get your attention in a way that you weren't paying attention to your emotions. We have a tendency to override our emotions or dummy them down with medicine or whatever, when the body will just kick in and say, all right, I'll talk to you physically now. Have I gotten your attention yet? And can you just focus here in this space where you're at, in this physical body? Just focus here and be curious. And I'll give you some feedback about what's been so off from your happy place or from your well-being, and how you can let yourself off the hook there and find some ease and find that flow of well-being. It doesn't even have to take long. And then life itself is just a good guide. Everything in your life is queued up in response to what you've been expecting, what you've been believing, what you've been talking about. It's good to know these forms of guidance. So we didn't come here alone. We didn't come here without help, without a broader vision. And isn't that really handy to understand? So as you think of yourself as this soul in a human, well, focused through or into a human experience, a human body, and you've gotten to know this body, you understand the mechanics of it, and you're making your way through this life experience. Now, picture yourself as a swirling ball of energy, which you can relate to as a physical body, on a road that has 2 lanes. There's a dotted line down the middle, so you can switch lanes whenever you want. It's a windy road. It's a road with a lot of turns, and it changes frequently as you're going down this road. You were born on this 2-lane road, this swirling ball of energy that you are. And you're going down that road. Here you are. You're born. You're in this life experience. You're a-going. And so if you realize that there's no gas pedal, there's no steering wheel, there's no brake pedal, the only thing that dictates where you're at on that road and how fast or slow you're going on that road is by what you're thinking about, what you're believing, what you're paying attention to, what you're expecting, what you're talking about. You were born on the right side of the road. On the right side of the road, and these 2 lanes have nothing to do with political left and right, please. You were born on the right side of the road, which is where everything you want is, the things that you like, the things that you specifically are into, not necessarily other people. There's music on that side of the road that you love. There's music on the other side, the left side of the road, which is the unwanted side, that you don't like. So that music's over there. There are hobbies or sports or interests or whatever that you love that are on your right side that are in somebody else's left side, just things that they don't like or want. There are also the common things, like we like happy people, we like beautiful weather, we like a smooth ride, we like nicely paved roads. We like certain things that are pretty common. Everything else is very specific. And you also have the left lane. The left lane, like I said, is the unwanted. It's the things that you're not into. Other people may be into it, you're not. And then there are the common things there that most of us don't like. There are the potholes and the roadkill and the construction and the traffic and the mean people and the crappy weather and so on and so on. We wanted both lanes. We had every intention of using both lanes. So neither one is bad. It's just the unwanted lane is not a lane you want to stay in very long. So you're born in that right lane, you're feeling good, you get hungry, off you go into that left lane. Somebody feeds you and back you are in that right lane. Right? Kids are really easy with this. They're very easy about, if you take something away that they really, really want, they'll cry. If you distract them with something else that they want, they're right back to happy again. So as we went through this life experience, we couldn't help but notice things in that left lane. And what happens, I think, with a lot of people is the left lane becomes a habit where if you look around, you'll notice so many people talking about what they don't like and what's not working and what other people are doing that they don't like, and on and on and on. So the longer you stay in that left lane, obviously the more damage it's going to do to, if we're talking about a rural highway, more damage it's going to do to your car. Car is riding in a terrible lane. Eventually that car is going to really have a lot of trouble. When a car drives in a nice smooth lane, not trouble, right? So here you are back and forth. Something gets your attention, over into the left lane you go. If you can find a way to say, okay, I'm here, I'm in the left lane. Yes, I am. But I don't want to stay here because it doesn't feel good to be here. That's how I know I'm here. And now I know I don't have to stay. I have the free will and the ability and now the knowledge to know where I'm at and where I want to go. So if you can find any thought that feels better than the one you're having in that left lane, you're on your way. That's it. You're on your way. You're gliding right over back into the right lane. If somebody is mean to you, maybe you're driving, literally, maybe you're driving and somebody flips you off. Maybe you made a mistake, they made a mistake, whatever, but somebody flips you off and yells at you and you have a moment there. Now you can either stay in that left lane and be mad, be upset, think how unjust that was and how rude people can be, and then tell other people about it. Stop at the store, be mean to the clerk, growl at people as you walk by them. Go home and be rough on your family. You're still in that left lane. And you're starting to get some more of what's in that left lane. Now people are being more difficult with you. Or now you stubbed your toe. Now you dropped something. Now you started to make dinner and it's just not turning out right. You're just going to keep getting with what's in that left lane. And that's okay. You're not in any spiritual trouble for that. But why? Why keep staying there when you really don't have to? Even though maybe it's been a habit before. And let yourself off the hook. You've been conditioned by other people that were here before you that had their fears and doubts and did the same thing. And it's just become a human race kind of a thing in some ways to hang out too long in the left lane. But now that you know that, when you catch yourself doing it, you think to yourself, we'll go back to the driver situation. You can think to about that other driver, you got me there. I'm mad, but I was having a good day. I was having a pretty happy day right before that. And I don't give you permission to take me out of my happy day and muck up the rest of my day. I'm going to go right back into feeling better because I can. I don't need anybody's permission. I just can. Can you? Have you ever done that? Give it a try. Give it a go. Because if you realize your power there, I can either give that person my power and be mad and get more stuff like that, or I can find anything that feels better. I can look at the trees and think how beautiful they are this time of year or whatever it might be, and get yourself back into that the right lane, because it doesn't matter really what you're thinking. If it's a feel-good thing, you're in the right side. If it's a not feel-good thing, you're in the left side. It's as simple as that. And what you're thinking is what you're getting in your life. So isn't that fun to know that that's all you're doing is just gliding back and forth? It's okay to be in the left lane. You get clarity there. You realize that when you're sick, you like to feel better. When you're broke, you like to have some money. When you're in a bad mood, you remember how nice it is to be in a good mood. So you get clarity there, you get some specifics about yourself and what your preferences are, and that's good enough. That's enough. You don't have to keep staying there and thinking that it's cold to be suffering, that it's a requirement that we pay our dues here and ride life rough and ride it hard. There's no reason really to stay in that lane if you want to have some nice things happen in your life and feel good. So switch lanes. You're the only one that can do it. Nobody else is responsible to get you over there. They can maybe inspire you over there, but you have to do it. And it's so simple. So now think of those two lanes and think of those lanes in a maze. We're going to put those lanes right inside this big, huge, breathing, ever-changing, living maze, because this is your life. This is another analogy, or maybe an expansion on that analogy, for how life is and how your guidance works. So your guidance works by how you feel, and you can tell by which lane you're in, right? I'm a right laner, right? More often than not. Nobody's always in that right lane. But if you're there most often, or if you can bring yourself there a lot, you're a right laner. That's a good thing. Life's working out for you the way you want it to, mostly. Maybe really often. It depends on how good you get at this. So here you are, the two lanes, but we're in this maze now. And you know, when you're in a maze, you can't really tell what's ahead. You can't look around the corners unless you're at the corner. You can't see what's down the road. But lucky for you, you have what we'll call eyes in the sky, right? What if you're really in a real maze here on this planet and you have some friends that you know you can trust 100%. They love you. They always have your back, and they have a bird's eye view of that maze. And they are sending you information. They're way up here, but they're yelling to you. Not that spirit ever yells, but people do. We would if we were in this case that far up. So they're yelling to you, go this way. This will be an easier way. That'll be an easier way. Slow down right there because something's about to pass by that you don't want to be a part of. Talk to that person over there. Clean out that closet right there, because that will lead you to this. This will get you in good timing here, and so on. So wouldn't that be great, right? You have your friends. They can see ahead. They can see this, because this maze is ever changing. So as you're doing things, the maze keeps changing. You're doing things, the maze keeps changing. But they can see it. They see it as it's happening, and they're giving you feedback. What an easy trip through the maze, right? What an interesting gliding trip this would be through the maze. This is what's happening with your non-physical guidance, right? And the guidance of life, the guidance of your emotions and your physical body. This is the feedback. This is the bird's eye stuff that's available to every one of us, that's always streaming as we're going through this crazy maze, sort of life. Because when you're here in it, here you are, you've got two lanes, you're in this maze, there's a lot going on, there are a lot of people, it's huge. There are things that keep changing because you change your mind, somebody else thinks this thought, this changes, this expands. All of this going on, it's very difficult to navigate all of that and take in all of those bits of information as you consider, do I turn here? Do I stop for a while and let that happen? Should I walk over here? Should I pick this up? Should I eat this now? Not that non-physical, again, they're not telling you what to do and what not to do, but they are saying we can see a broader view of this maze than you can. But when you're in this maze and you're getting so caught up in it, you're getting so dug into the way it is, and you're so determined to do it yourself, or you think you're in this world pretty much all by yourself, making your way, I've got to prove myself. When you're in that, you're grinding in those thoughts, you can't hear them anymore. They're still saying, stop here, go quicker, talk to that person. They're still saying that stuff. Like, here's a good idea. Here's a good idea. Oh, look over here. This is exactly what you want. This is going to light up for you. That's still streaming, but you can't hear it. You really can't get even a whiff of it because you're so distracted by everything that you're trying to figure out by yourself. So instead of figuring, how do I navigate this maze? How do I make my way through? How do I get what I want? How do I make things come my way? How do I feel better? Instead of trying to get in there and figure things out from a vantage point you don't have, why not allow yourself to have more access to the vantage point that they do have? So how do you do that? Take it easy. Don't take life so seriously. You've got to get yourself into a higher vibration if you're going to receive those nudges, those subtle suggestions, those subtle cues over here. Pick this up. Look at this. Isn't that nice? It might not even be about the item you just picked up, but that's going to get you to a thought that gets you to a thought that works out. So you'll find with everything that I teach, I want to put the ease in there because that's what life is really supposed to be about. Look at nature, ease. Even if it's a storm, it's full of ease. There's nothing going wrong anywhere. Things are just queuing up for benefit that you maybe don't have access to. You don't know why, but things are queuing up beautifully. And if you realize this intelligent world that we're in, this intelligent guidance that we have is all working for you, then you start to see that, and that starts to become true for you. So as you go through your days here, think about those two lanes. Which lane am I in? And how do I move out of the left lane if I'm in it? It's not a difficult thing, but it's one that may be different than what you're used to, so it may take you a little time. So just play with it. Be playful about it. And when you think back to the maze, don't think, oh, this big confusing maze. Yeah, Liz, life is just, it's just frustrating because there's so much going on. There's so many people. I don't know what to do. Instead of looking at it that way, yes, I'm in this maze. It's a big, beautiful maze. And I am so glad that I'm not doing this alone. I'm so glad that I have souls who love me and know me better than I know myself right now. And they know what I want. They know which way I want to go. They know where I want to get to. And they are more than willing to share their bird's eye view guidance with me. So there it is. That's all I have to say about that for now. If I have given you any information that you feel is helpful, please like, share, follow, all that kind of whatever. Let somebody else know if you think this is information that might help them find ease in life as well. You can find me at mysticaltruths.com. And until we talk again, or even after we talk again, be that right laner. I wish you the best.